Hey everyone, welcome back to week 3 of Peak. I hope you are all excited and had a great long weekend. Got to spend some time with family and friends. So this week we have Jodi joining us again. She has a great session lined up for everyone, so I hope you enjoy. And without further ado, Jodi, you can take it away.
Fantastic. Thanks, Justin. Hey, guys, good to see everybody again. You're all looking awesome. Give me a thumbs up. It's Family Day, right? I love Family Day in Alberta. And I love that not every province has it, but we find it really important here to have Family Day. Always one of my favorites. All right, just checking in to see who's all with us today. You guys are probably way younger than me, but if anyone remembers Romper Room, it's like, oh, and we have Leonka and Sarah and Jordan and Melissa. Look at that, everybody. So you guys, we're going to use the chat. Oh, thank you very much, Joe. Hey, Carla, see you waving. Kayla. Yeah, you guys, it's so good to be here with you. Hey, Mark. All righty. So what we're going to do today is talk about lots of couple different things. So let me just share my screen here. All righty. Trying to get some so I can see everybody and my slides all at the same time. All right, so first of all, when we talk about Family Day, I thought I wanted to just show this slide first. So this is my grandpa. And if you look in really closely, you'll see that he was a hockey player in 1929 to 1930. That's a little while ago. That was almost 100 years ago, you guys. We're hitting almost 100 years ago. Isn't that insane? And this is, he was part of the midget hockey championships for Southern Alberta. And he lived in a town way just down south of Calgary. And I wanted to bring him up today because we're going to talk about being a leader. And I never actually got to know my grandpa because he passed away before I was born. But he was obviously an athlete, right? And inspired my dad's love of sport, which then inspired my love of sport. And he was also down in his hometown. They made a sportsmanship award named for him, right? He was given an award, and then for years and years and years and years, they had a Flanagan Sportsman of the Year award down in this small town, right? Because of all the work that he did. And this is just one of my very favorite pictures. And I love that, well, it's not safe. Don't ever play hockey like this because he's not in helmets and not in the proper gear. But I just think it's fascinating that that's what they wore back in 1929. So I thought that was super cool. So let's talk a little bit about leadership. Now, I'm going to make sure that I can see everybody in the chat, but tell me, like, what does leadership mean to you? What is it? And in fact, I'm just going to stop. Hang on 2 seconds. There we go. Sorry, I'm jumping around a little bit, but there we go. So I just want to see in the chat, what does leadership mean to you? All righty. Taking charge, being important. We're going to come back to that one, Megan. Making your own choices, taking charge, helping others, being a good role model for others, being good, setting an example. Right on. What else do you have? What does leadership mean? Helping soccer, helping, yeah, someone who helps out. I love the word help, right? Isn't that a key word? Yeah, being active, team player. Awesome. Now, have you guys had some good leaders, around you? I presume so, right? You've all had probably some good leaders that, and you can think about it, whether it's inside Special O, inside other sports, or whether it was at school or outside of that, right? You can think about it as leaders that you've had in your workplace, or if you volunteer somewhere yourself, right? So just, thinking about it again, just let's always keep up in the chat. Who were some of those leaders that are there? Oh, love that. Parents are always great, right? Cardiologist, that's a good leader. Nice. Yeah, you guys, if you're following along in the chat, you'll just see lots of different people that are considered leaders, right? Wonderful. Yeah, lots of different ones. So again, coaches, parents. Oh, I like that. Your pals. That's super cool. And if you had to think of that best, and this may be sort of similar to what you've already had, but why was somebody your best leader? What made them really good? Right? Why do you remember them? Okay, so now I see who they are. Tell me why. What did you like about them, or how did they make you feel? Attentive to your needs. Perfect. Yeah, thanks, Andreas. It's interesting how someone that kind of stands out to you is, again, probably someone who makes you feel something, not necessarily someone who makes you do something, right? You guys are all athletes. You know the deal. You come to a program and you do something, you do your sport, but and you go to work and you do your job, right? We all do that. But when it's someone makes you feel something different, that's that sign of a leader that's got more involvement with you than just telling you how to go about your day. So now I want you to think about someone that's kind of been in that leadership role, right? But maybe wasn't so great, right? You don't have to say their name, but just tell me, what was it that made them not wonderful? Okay. And maybe you haven't. If you haven't had anyone that you kind of didn't connect with, that's okay. You don't have to type anything. But if you have, put them in there, because there's a lot of people who like to think that they're leaders because they hold a title, because they have something that says I'm in charge. Yeah, putting me down, right, Brittany? Like, they have a position, but it doesn't make them a leader. It just gives them a position. Yeah, using me. Yeah. Right. No, obviously, we don't like to talk too much on the negative side, but I just wanted to be real today and talk about all the different things that we see. Again, just because someone's the boss or someone's in charge of us doesn't mean that they're a good leader. Right. Yeah, they're not necessarily very nice. And I think in sports, and not necessarily in Special Olympics, but I work in hockey, right? And when I see some hockey coaches, they're not always looking after the athlete's best interest. Who's watching the Olympics, right? Or who watched the Olympics? Give me a thumbs up. Give me a, right? And who watched the figure skating in the Olympics? Right? And there's lots of drama going on around the figure skating event in the Olympics, right? Because they were questioning whether those leaders were very good leaders. Right? And that's just, again, how are they treating each other? How are they treating the athletes? So when you look at this screen here, I have authority versus leader, right? Is one more effective than the other? Is someone that just kind of tells you what to do super motivating? Or is someone that encourages you to do something more motivating, right? And there's just that little bit of a difference. And when we start thinking about all those things, we're going to ultimately come to where we come into play in all that, right? Yeah. Yeah. So one of my very favorite speakers, and if you guys ever have a chance to look him up on YouTube, look up Simon Sinek. He is fantastic to listen to. Really good guy. You can find him all over YouTube. But he says the role of a leader is not to come up with all the great ideas, but the role of a leader is to create an environment in which great ideas can happen. Right? So I can think right this very second, we have a fantastic leader on the call with us, because everyone can just give a shout out to Justin, because look at this. He has created an environment right now where we're all allowed to be on here. He's created this environment. We're all allowed to be on here giving some great ideas and making that happen. And so just being a part of this, we're under this fantastic leader who allows us to grow and facilitate what our own development, right? So super cool. Thumbs up to Justin. Yay. So we have to think about all that. Now let's turn it and start thinking about, again, a little bit more personal, right? Are you a leader? So type yes or no in the chat for me, because I'm super curious what everyone wants to say here, because there's no right or wrong answer. Okay. Yes. Look at that. Yes, I try. Nice. I like, okay. Andrea says no. And again, honesty is best, you guys. If you don't think you're a leader, that's okay to put it in there. Okay. Sometimes, yeah. So now on that note, let's just see, what does leadership look like? So if you guys, Tara, I'll put his name in the chat in just a second. What does leadership look like? So everyone that said yes, or even everyone that said maybe or no, what does leadership look like to you? Right? So if you say, yes, I'm a leader, what does that mean? What do you do that makes you a leader? Or what do you create? Cool. At the World Games, gave athletes some good advice. Friendly. Help and create. Nice. So if you guys are following along in the chat, you'll see lots of different answers, right? They're not all the same. So you can be a leader in certain areas by helping other people out, right? And yeah, I love that. Being happy, being kind to my friends. See, Andreas, you are a leader. And being there for everyone. Now, maybe there's a few that maybe didn't put any, because they feel like a lot of people think that leaders need to be kind of front and center, and they need to be the pinnacle, that person that's always in the middle of things, right? So here's the question to you again. Do athletes need to be the loudest? Do the leaders need to be the loudest? Right? Do they have to be center stage? What do you think? Nope. Sometimes. Cool. Strongly disagree. Cool. If anyone, again, being, and I don't want to split the province here, but, Flames fans, right? If anyone's a Flames fan and knows that when Giordano was our captain, I don't think that Gio was really that loud, right? I think he was a pretty quiet kind of guy. So how did he become the leader? Right? What did he do? What does that quiet kind of leader do that makes him the captain? That someone said, hey, he should be our captain. Any idea? And you guys will come to your hands. I know you've got your hands up, but let's just use the chat for a few minutes, and then we'll come to you guys to speak in just a few minutes. All right, any ideas about Gio? So one of the things that he does is he sometimes he just shows by what he does, right? So just give me 1 second. I'm just going to have Angela. Angela, you have your hand up, and let's just go to you and see, what do you think? What does that leadership mean to you? And do you have to be the loudest? No to Angela? Oh, you're unmuted. You're mute. Okay, I'm going to jump over to Preston. Preston, how about you? Can you unmute?
He's a good teammate.
He is a good teammate. Yeah. And what does that mean? What does he do?
He means that he helps the team get to the trying to help the team get to where he wants to get to the team, the same cap where they want to be. And he's a good teammate, and he helps. He's he's a part of the Special Olympics.
Yes, that's right. Okay, Angela, back to you. What did you have to say about Gio or about anything else?
Sometimes that people think that they could be the leader in their little houses.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Cool. How
they have to let everybody have a turn to speak.
Yep. Yeah. That's the interesting thing, right? Is leaders allow opportunities. Like we already said, we're creating an environment. Thanks, Angela. Yeah. Tara, how about you? What do you have to say?
Like the Giordano helps them get goals in the net.
Yes, he sure does.
He doesn't play for the Flames anymore.
You know what? I was at the first exhibition game this year when Calgary played the Kraken, and he scored the first goal against the Flames. That was very heartbreaking.
Yes.
But everyone still cheered because we all love Gio, right?
Yes.
All right, Alex, how about you? What do you have to say?
In my experience, what would I have to say to myself, like this, being a leader, it's like this, so I became the captain of my team sport. So this I just helped out my team sport for hockey.
Nice.
I know, right?
That's really good.
Yep.
Really good. Okay, Laura, you've been waiting patiently.
For me, for being a leader, I like to be a leader with my friends and also with kids, because when I help out at Camp Horizon, I like to help out the kids and stuff like that.
Wonderful. That is so good, right? And I love that everyone just likes that leader is helping, right? And what it's not, and a lot of people mix this up sometimes, is people think that some leaders think that it's a position important to them versus a position important to the collective group, right? So you know what, you guys, we're going to come back. So you can keep your hands up and we'll certainly come back to you, but let's jump on to the next thing here, because I have more questions. So let's talk about some of the leadership skills you learn because you're an athlete. And I was doing some research the other day. And again, when it talks about an athlete versus a non-athlete, things that you learn because you guys are here, because you're participating, whether it's as a recreational athlete or because you're going on to bigger competitions, you are learning skills. And those skills are going to be helpful in the bigger picture outside of Special Olympics, right? Outside of sport. So what are some of the skills that you learn? So again, you can throw it in the chat, or feel free to put your hand up, right? We'll grab a couple of hands as we go, but use the chat as well. All right, so the question again, what are some leadership skills? And how about we go to Jordan?
It is very important to be in a leadership, and we have to be nice and be very kind and help people.
Very good.
We have to keep track of it, staying strong and healthy.
Yeah, really good. Thanks, Jordan. Okay, Andreas, how about you?
Which hockey player are you talking about, Jodi?
Well, initially we were talking about Mark Giordano, right?
Yeah, he helps with the other players to work hard to shoot more goals.
Right. Yeah, he's super supportive of kind of the bigger group, right?
Yep,
cool.
I agree.
Keith, you've been waiting very patiently with a wonderful bow on your head.
Should I?
Yep, thanks, Andreas. Yeah, Keith, what do you think? What are some leadership skills you learned through sports?
I've been walking.
Yeah, what else?
More exercising.
Okay.
And mullet.
Yeah, cool, right?
Mm-hmm.
Cool, thanks. Okay, so Melody, how about you? We're going to take two more on this topic and then we'll jump into some other stuff.
Okay. What I found about being a leader is I need to be patient.
Right.
I need to be patient. I need to be patient with new athletes.
Yeah. Good. Thanks for sharing that. That's awesome. Okay, Danielle, you're up, and then we're moving on to the next topic.
Hello.
Hi.
This is about my work with grit and ready for inclusion today. So I work with kids and found out a wide range of multiple disabilities. And for some of the kids, I really have to learn to be patient because they're just learning to talk. And also with my co-workers, listening to them, gaining new ideas and skills, helping me to be more effective in my work with their kids and the families that they actually work with.
Wonderful. So again, you've learned those skills and now you're using those.
Yes.
Very cool. So let's just have a look at the list here. And you guys, when you think about it, again, skills that you've learned from being an athlete, look at what you can now take forward. So again, you've all been working on goal setting. I know you were doing that with Frank the other day, right? And you've been focusing on setting the goals and what do you do with them. So you learn that. And if you take that outside of what your own thing is to your team, that's something that a leadership skill that you've taken from sport. Managing your time, right? You guys are all here, you're on time, ready to go, as you are with all the peak sessions and when you're with your own training. Discipline, right? And I've seen what you guys are posting. I see that you're eating really well, and I'm learning from you when you post the nice portion sizes in your meals, as well as, again, just sticking to your training. That's amazing. And when you can take that and move that over to something outside of sport, again, you're using those skills that help with leadership. Teamwork, of course, we've seen lots of stuff like that in the chat, right? Supporting each other, supporting the team. And again, when you take that and you're taking that to work or school, whatever projects you're on outside of Special O, that's an important skill. Communicating, decision making, right? All this stuff that you're taking from sport, right? We said a lot of athletes just have a bit of a stronger skills that they can share. We've talked about adversity before, because remember when I did a session a long time ago, it was about my recovering from an injury and having major surgery, right? Every one of us has had something to overcome in order to carry on. So overcoming adversity, lots of success, right? But no one gets to have success without failing. We all have to, as whether it's we're learning to do something new and we fail at all our attempts to do it, or we get to kind of where we think we're at the top, but guess what? Something happens and we fail again. So it's learning how to deal with that and not let it crush us, right? And you guys understand that, and you understand, therefore you can take it forward. And any strategic development, anything that you learn how to work with people and how to work within a system, then you take it forward. So those are some of the skills that you certainly learn through sport, right? And now, then what do you do with it? So some of you guys have been mentioning it about what are some of the qualities. We've said why they're good and what leadership means, right? It's people being helpful, people being nice, but what are some of the qualities? Right. And I think a couple of you guys were talking about patience, right? Having patience is a huge leadership quality, right? Being supportive to the team. I'm looking in the chat, huge leadership quality. Oh, there's another one, not being negative, right? What are some other leadership qualities? And let me go over to Cassie. Cassie, can you think of any?
Being a leader means being there for everyone, not just one person. It can be either at work or anywhere.
Fantastic. Yep, that's really good. Thank you. How about Laura? Laura, can you jump in here? Laura Hill?
Oh, hi, sorry. Well, I'm actually just been around all my bowling friends and all my friends, that it gives you lots of confidence to just want to be yourself. Right now, I'm focusing on trying to lose weight, because I joined Jenny Craig a couple days ago, and I'm also in school to be a EA, so a teacher's aide.
Nice.
So there's so much on my, so much to do at the moment, but I'm trying to stay positive and just try to be there for everybody.
That's terrific, and good luck in your journey. That's really good. Good. Tara, how about you?
Don't be mean to your athletes that you bowl with, and you have to be nice to them, and don't make them feel bad if you be mean to them.
Yeah. Yeah, it's about being supportive.
Yeah, supportive.
Right? Yeah. Yeah. Not being negative. I'm reading through the chat, guys, too. So if you're doing anything there, I am following along. Right? Lots of different things that help. And again, you don't have to be the boss, right? You don't have to be anyone that's in charge of anything to be a leader. Because what you do is if people are watching you and can see that you're being supportive to the group, if they see that you're being friendly and committed to your own growth and positive about your own growth, then you're that role model, right? So role models can be leaders too. And so you can look at some of that. You don't have to be the person that's always in charge, right, to have these qualities. So if we just kind of peek again at the screen here, being consistent, making ethical decisions, right? Positive, we've talked about. Being inspiring. And again, I can be inspired just by watching someone. They don't have to be the boss. I'm just inspired because of how they're behaving, right? But if I'm empathetic, right? Oh, see, there's a good one. Lizzie caught, they're empathetic. So again, I'm feeling for someone. If they're having a kind of a crummy day, right? I'm there with them. I'm on their journey with them, and I'm kind of being that supportive friend. Trustworthy. You know what? Like if you see the word ownership, right? Leaders, when they make mistakes, they own it. They own it. They say it, they admit it. They say sorry if they need to say sorry. That's what a good leader does, right? And it doesn't need to be the person that's in charge, right? Being honest, being responsible. Leaders show up places on time. They tell people if they can't come, you know what I mean? They're not making excuses. They're participating and being responsible and kind of owning what they do. And here's the key thing is again, like we said with Simon Sinek, it's the focusing on others' success, right? Now, again, because I work in hockey, I focus a little bit on that, but watching someone that's a leader isn't the one that's going to score all the goals. That's not necessarily the leader. That's just a good hockey player. But a good leader is also the one that sets up the person that's scoring the goals, right? That sees the good play and makes it happen and then relishes someone else's success, right? Sets somebody else up for success and then high fives them, even though they themselves didn't get the goal. They just helped somebody else get the goal. So that's a good leader too. So lots of different ways lots of different qualities. And I like that. I'm just looking on the chat again, being there for, with others. So now some of you guys I know are in individual sports. So those that do individual sports, and I'm thinking cross-country skiing, I'm thinking skating, rhythmic gymnastics, powerlifting. How can you be a leader, even though that you're not part of a team sport? What do you do that's still leadership if you're not part of a team sport? Karen, good. I can see people thinking. Yeah, so yeah, swimming. So if you're in swimming, you're not necessarily part of a team sport. And Jordan, we're going to get to you in a bit. You don't need to, don't need to, we'll come back to you in a second. Encourage in their sport, right? So sometimes, again, even if you're in a team, if you're in an individual sport, it's looking at somebody else and saying, wow, that was amazing. You did really well today. So still complimenting your workout friend, right? Or a competitor. Who watched in the Olympics? Who watched any of the snowboarding, and especially the big air? Did anyone show me a thumb up if you watched any of the big air with a snowboard, right? It was amazing because what you had, especially that started with the girls and then it came back to the guys, but the girls, one of the girls came down the hill, did this amazing jump, amazing trick in the air. Now she fell. She kind of landed it, but then she fell. And what did everybody do? All these competitors from all these different countries, they didn't cheer that she fell, right? Because that meant that someone else got a medal and she didn't. They came running out to her on the area of play before she went to her her final where she had to stand, and they hugged her. They gave her the high fives because she just did something phenomenal, right? And it was, yeah, Danielle, you're right. It was to comfort her, but it was to also congratulate her because she did something new and something better. She didn't land it, but she did something better than the rest of them tried. And that was cool because they just thought, yeah, you don't need to bring somebody down. Leaders will never bring somebody down. They will always build somebody up, right? So lots of different qualities, right, that we learn. And so Steve Jobs, big computer dude, says the management. So we all think about different people in our lives, right? Managers, again, if we're looking at someone that might be one of our bosses or supervisors, management is about persuading people to do the things that they do not want to do, right? So when I go to work and someone tells me I have to do this job, they're managing me. But a leader is about inspiring people to do things they never thought they could. Does that make sense? Right? It's inspiring people to do something new and do something different and reach a little bit higher. So next time you guys are either with your sport or next time you're at work or wherever it is that you are, even within your family, think about it. Think about what you can do that encourages somebody else to try something that maybe they aren't quite comfortable with, right? Or don't have their own confidence with. But what can they do? All right. Ren, let's hear from you. Okay, Brittany, how about you?
When I was in high school, I used to do track and field, and I did the hardest one of all was the 3,000 meter race. And I knew I didn't come in first. I knew I came in like very, very last. So I was to the point I was going to give up. I said I couldn't do it no more. And then my friends ran outside of the track to help me finish and encourage me to finish.
Fantastic. That is amazing. That's a great story. Good for you.
And then the guy who was in charge gave me the sportsmanship award because I was the only one there who had a smile on my face at the end.
That's very impressive. Thanks for sharing that. Allison,
Yeah.
I'm going to go to you because I haven't heard from you yet.
Hi.
What do
How
you
are
think? Great.
I just think it's important for everybody's thoughts to be heard.
Nice.
You know, it doesn't matter if you're in a sport or not, or you know, I think it's especially like when I'm at work, I make sure that all my thoughts are heard.
Allison, that's really, and thanks for sharing that. And I think that's something that we can all take away, right? Because it's important to listen to others, leave that opportunity for others to speak and be heard, but also knowing that leaders and those around you should also make sure that you're heard, right? So don't ever be afraid to say what you need to say or, ask for that opportunity. But when you're in another position, make sure somebody else is heard if you're able to as well. Now, just a thumbs up, show me who thinks that they are kind of quiet and reserved. Put your thumbs up if you're not kind of a big talker. Okay. Cool. And for those who aren't, thank you so much for jumping in and putting your hand up when you did, because I know that sometimes is difficult if you don't think that if you don't feel comfortable being kind of talking in front of a crowd. So that's really good. And then put your thumb up now if you think that you are kind of a more outgoing and you find it easy to talk and easy to ask questions. Yeah. Yeah. Another group. Good. Lots of people are different, right? Some people are super happy in front of a crowd, others are not, right? Sometimes, again, that nice quiet leader is the one that just gives that that thumbs up to somebody and when they're out doing something that says kind of good job, I saw you and I appreciate you, right? Without making a really big deal out of it. It's just that quiet little thing. Right? Let's go to Jordan McLeod. Do you have something to say about this, Jordan?
Okay, I just got a message for the athletes, but I could just talk to you as well, but with athletes who are on. So I went to the World Games for swimming, and I was quite a leader at that point, and I got a 4th place and a 5th place, 2nd place and a 1st place. So I want to encourage to for me as a leader, I want for all my fellow athletes to do the same as well.
That's a good message.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for sharing that, Jordan. Appreciate that, right? Lots of different opportunities come up. All right. And I'm not ignoring Jordan and Danielle, just hold on tight, but I'd like to hear from Kaylee.
Hi, I'm Kaylee. What I have seen in Special Olympics is my sister went to Thunder Bay. She was in bowling.
Okay.
She has bronze, and then she has bronze in her team. And the one I've been was a good place to go is Los Angeles. Watch my uncle is in Tim Pin bowling in Los Angeles. It's good to see you too in Special.
Amazing. Whole family of athletes. That's fantastic.
Yep.
And I'm just reading just before we jump to the next person, but I'm looking in the chat again. Lee did cross-country skiing and broke my ski pole. They cheered me up till I finished my race. Like phenomenal, right? That's really encouraging. Those are anyone cheering on. Those are good leadership qualities. Andrew, how about you?
Well, this was a long time ago in soccer with a nice coach. When I first started soccer a very long time ago, when a nice nice coach in soccer taught me how to play ball. It was really nice in the very first provincial games when I scored that goal a long time ago.
That's super cool. Awesome. Kate, I'm going to share the passcode in just a minute. Jordan, do you have another thought other than that? Did you have another thought to say, Jordan Tyson?
Never, ever bully people. We had to be kind and be nice.
Very true. Very true, right? That's what we want to, that's when we talk about athletes as leaders. It is, what are you taking? What are you giving to people and learning from your own experiences and sharing? Thanks, Jordan. That's a good point. All right, Danielle, and then we're going to get close to wrapping things up here.
Hello, I've done an example from my work. I've not been back at my work for like 3 years because of COVID. But next year, I'm super excited because I'm going to be acknowledged for 20 years in 2023.
That's amazing.
Yes, so what my coworkers, all I've seen them is online through workshops, but actually what they had written back to me, since I haven't been doing my jobs for 3 years, that they would help retrain me so I would be able to make books, do stuff on Board Maker, and stuff like that. So I'm so thankful to them, and hopefully next September I'm going to be able to go back. They said they really missed me and everything I do to sort of help them, so they knew I would be able to finish their jobs if they ran out of time or something.
Yeah.
Leave me directions. I would put it in their team mail, but then the next time they were in, they would pick up the completed project.
That's amazing. Good for you. All right, Alex, let's just go to you, and we're going to, again, a couple more things, then we're going to wrap it up.
For your information, Jodi, So I dealt with one of athlete named Gino because he was being rude to me. So he declared that he doesn't like me anymore. And I said to him, fine. And I'm not talking to you either. So because he was being rude to me and other athletes, because it made people hurt.
Yep. Yep. Sometimes
However,
what do you do when you come across that? You can't be friends with them, right?
but all you could be friends with people who is very respectful, very nice, kind,
Yeah.
and loyalty.
Yeah, loyalty, really good. So you guys, I'm just gonna do this real quick. So again, sharing my screen, your passcode of the day is Airdrie. Okay, Airdrie, that's our affiliate of the day for your password. Okay, we can come back to that if you want to afterwards. But I also just, again, going back to my pal that I like, Simon Sinek, he says, don't show up to prove, show up to improve. Okay, always looking for what you can do next. What's that? The worst thing you can ever say ever is, I already know that, right? No matter what it is, the worst thing you can possibly ever say is, I already know that. Okay, we are always learning, we're always growing, we can always encourage other people to do the same. So we always want to be able to show up to improve. Cool. That's our, again, just the passcode, so you guys can all see that. Okay.
Awesome.
And I would just like, before we just close with Justin here, did anyone, and this time just use the chat, we're not going to go to anyone's in person, but just in the chat, please. Did you learn something today in the last hour with me? And what was that? What are you going to take out of here? What are you going to take away today? And I like to ask that question because that's part of my learning, right? Was it effective? Is there something when you go to your programs or to your work or within your family, are you going to do something a little differently because of something you learned? Awesome. You guys are the best. I love seeing all the engagement, whether it's on the chat or your wonderful faces that I can see on the screen. Thank you. Your thumbs up. Yeah. Yeah, you guys are fantastic. That's good. Thanks, Justin. We can wrap it up.
Awesome. I just wanted to say thank you for leading the session tonight and also joining us for multiple peaks to help us lead the way. So I hope everyone learned something tonight. I definitely did. But I always want to say thank you for everything you do for Special Olympics.